Hey, welcome back to What If Universe. And it's August, so it's time for the August What If Adpocalypse. Apocalypse, not Adpocalypse, because I'm not even monetized here. For this What If, we will be exploring an interesting alternative timeline where this non-canon universe will take place in. So, what if King Cold took interest in Namek instead of planet Vegeta? This seems pretty small, right? Well, let's get started. So, planet Namek is within Universe 7. Well, at least in a similar universe, because after all, this is a What If universe. So we'll call it What If Universe 7. And it's the year around age 731, and the Namekians are discovered by King Cold during this time. And the Namekians are pretty peaceful, and they decide not to retaliate. But Guru has a plan to kill King Cold with Dragon Balls if things were to get too out of hand. The Namekians were soon annexed by Frieza in age 732, due to King Cold retiring and handing over his army to his son, Frieza. Frieza found their race decently strong, and they had a nice knack for farming resources, so he began to employ them into the Frieza Force to create food and housing for soldiers for the organization, and eventually contribute to bringing Frieza's end goal of ruling the entire universe. Namek would soon be transformed into a small military base where many Frieza's men are stationed alongside a few Namekians. Frieza would eventually discover the Book of Namekian Legends, detailing the ritual of the Super Saiyan God. And Frieza, after reading this, decides to go blow up planet Vegeta. Unfortunately for Bardock, he could not stop the blast heading towards their planet, and their sons get destroyed by another Frieza soldier who's in a spaceship that's not too nearby, because Frieza wanted to ensure that no survivors remain. And as the rest of the Frieza force, it continues to scour nearby planets that are around planet Vegeta to look for anyone who could have survived, with Frieza's main fear of that someone could go Super Saiyan God. However, in this timeline, King Vegeta still banished Broly and Paragus due to Broly's power level being more higher than Vegeta's own son, so he was banished for that reason. And from this point, you can refer to Smugstick's What If for what if Goku did not land on planet Earth, since the Earth's timeline would remain pretty similar to his. However, I'm going to be continuing off from that particular universe slightly. So back in our space, Frieza is alerted of the incoming Majin Buu, planning to consume planet Namek, which has become one of his new favorite military bases to consume. Now, Frieza knows that if he loses planet Namek, he might have some trouble, and considering that Majin Buu has the power to eat planets, this might be a problem that he needs to solve, and he attempts to scan Majin Buu's power level from far away, but Buu's power level is so high that it breaks Frieza's scouter. So he asks the Namekians, is there any way for him to become even more powerful than he is? A younger Namekian mentions the Dragon Balls, then their potential to grant wishes. Frieza picks up this young Namekian, threatening to kill him if he would not answer him how this is possible and if this is true or not. Nail decides to speak up and says this is true, and that they'll allow Frieza to become more powerful since it's the sake of the universe, seeing how powerful Majin Buu actually is. And this is where Guru's master plan comes into play. The Namekian Dragon Balls are gathered, and Guru tricks Frieza saying that the Dragon Balls only work as long as the user is able to speak Namekian. So he asks Frieza to verbally say what he thinks for his wishes that he wants. And Frieza's first wish is pretty cheeky. He tries to cheat out and try to wish for Majin Buu to be killed. But Purunga refuses, saying that Majin Buu is beyond his power. Guru's next wish, that he actually does, is to make King Cold and Frieza to become pure of heart. And they think this would be the best thing to do in the current circumstances, so they can make off more wishes. This wish is accepted by Purunga. Guru's second wish is to bring Majin Buu and the entire Frieza force, including Frieza, back to Frieza's home planet. And Purunga also accepts this. And the final wish is to give Frieza immortality, in hopes to make him strong enough to defeat Majin Buu. This is possible because, and many other What If YouTubers what ifs, they say that Vegeta, in timelines where he wishes for immortality, it actually works. So I'm going to say that does here as well. And Dende decides to make new Dragon Balls on their planet in hopes that they can make wishes sooner. And on a random mysterious planet far out in outer space, Dende makes Dragon Balls on an inhabitable planet. Well, a planet where there's not intelligent life. And he makes Dragon Balls that are able to grant 2 wishes. His first wish is to move planet Namek to a location where Frieza Force would have no information on. And his second wish is to bring himself back to where Namek was transported to. And those wishes were granted. And now let's go to what's going on at Frieza's home planet. At Frieza's home planet, the Frieza Force are being slaughtered by Majin Buu. Even King Cold does not survive. Frieza is lying very low on oxygen. He does notice that he is immortal, but he does not have infinite stamina. In a desperate attempt, Frieza actually creates a blast, large enough to be able to destroy the planet Beerus inhabits, in hopes that this could actually wake him up. And Whis decides to stop the blast, but Beerus does wake up, only because how loud it was when Whis actually destroyed the ball. So Beerus wakes up slightly earlier than he did in Dragon Ball Super. Whis and Beerus teleport to Frieza so Beerus can just kill him and go back to sleep. And he attempts to Hakai Frieza, but this Frieza is not killed, because this Frieza manages to warn Beerus of what happened to King Kai and the Supreme Kai and Capito, and what Majin Buu's made of. Because you have to remember, this Majin Buu has absorbed many more people than the original timeline. And after some rebuttals, Beerus decides that he will pull out the Supreme Kai, and he would Hakai Majin Buu, because he doesn't know anybody else who's in there and doesn't really care at this point, because he's just way too tired to do this. Frieza eventually thanks him for helping, and Whis is kind enough to turn time back enough so the Frieza Force and King Cold can still be alive. And after the Namekians made Frieza immortal, after they were curious why that Beerus couldn't Hakai him for some reason, because he was very confused when he attempted it. Frieza did not die. They decided to part ways, and the Namekians decide to keep Frieza the way he is, because they preferred this Frieza over the old one. And the same thing with Whis, because Whis could have turned back time to make him back to normal. And he might even be able to take Beerus over Beerus's place in the future. Future Trunks from the Goku Black timeline arrives to Earth, seeing it already being destroyed. So he decides to go back to his own timeline to replan how to kill Goku Black. Champa and Beerus decide not to host the Universe 6 and 7 tournament, which leads to the end of this universe, being destroyed by Zinda, due to a low moral count. But that is just the end to this universe, unfortunately. Because with many what-ifs having endless possibilities, sometimes they end up in tragedy and despair. And for today's video shoutout, we have Dragon Star Production. This channel produces videos related to the anime Dragon Ball, as well as Dragon Ball Z, GT, Super, Heroes, all of those. Most of his videos are pretty informational. They have theoreticals. He also does fan-made mangas, and even mangas written by himself. And some series can include what-ifs, what-if discussion, reviews, and fan-made story. For my recommendation for a video to watch, I would recommend his What If Bardock Killed Frieza. It seems like a really interesting story that's going on. Sure, it does get a bit more fanfiction-y due to the limits of what happens. Because if you do kill Frieza off pretty early, you would have a lot of repercussions. And there's reasons why. When I do my own what-ifs, I try to keep close to the source material when I can. I'm willing to do stories out there, don't get me wrong, but me personally, I like to have a good 60-40 split when I do my what-ifs, which is 60% canon, 40% story-based, so that way it does have a nice storytelling element with it, but also has a good amount of canonicity to it, I guess. So be sure to subscribe to Dragon Star Productions at the end of this video. But anyways, thank you for coming to What If Universe. I have been Drew from What If Universe. And always remember, in a What If Universe, there are endless possibilities. See ya.